So I have here this ruler, and we are going to first of all compose um, by doing some lines. And lines I want to do a bit darker so that I can show you what I am doing here. So first I will just create a boundary. And you can tape it down also, so that if you are looking for the clean edges, you will have a clean edges. So I created one line here, line from all the sides. Same way you can tape it down. And then I am going to do some lines. Lines can be, we are not looking for the accurate ratio. We can keep it like uneven. Somewhere it can be bigger size, somewhere it can be very tiny. So I will show you. I did a line till here, and then, so there is no rule, okay? You can do anything. Here I want to create a small, yes, any. But it should be in form of these rectangles. Rectangles can be any size. Okay, okay. No worries, no worries. So I'm doing different sizes. So you take your time and you keep doing this. This exercise again, it will help you to enhance your creativity. And we do this exercise, um, when we work on like abstract kind of work, when we are looking for creating out of imagination, right? So this we used to do as a fine art study. So I will do only half just to give you an idea. So you can see different sizes. Some are quite small, right? Some are quite big size, and then these strips. So we have to make sure that we are creating different kind of boxes here. So you can see different variety here. Now what I need, this exercise is basically for understanding how many type of variations we can create with one single color, right? I have this color here. This is blue. You can pick any kind of blue, and I will just fill this with this color. You can see lot of water, right? And then I'm going to mix it well. I will add more because I want to start from a watery kind of pigment. And now I have to test it first. I hope my screen is nicely visible. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I need different kind of brushes because we have different shapes here. We have these tiny shapes, we have this big size shapes. Okay, so that's the reason I'm using different kind of brushes. And this is my calligraphy brushes, so I can use more smaller size brushes, but I this will work for me. It's quite nice, right? Yes, it's very good for detail kind of folks. So I use this one, and then I need tissue paper. Instead of tissue paper, what you can do, you can have a microfiber towel. That is really good because it absorbs lot of water in one go, right? And tissue paper, it's not that much effective, I have seen. So microfiber towels work for me really well. Now what I'll do is, here you can do two things. First, you can use a little bit base which can give you a 30-degree angle, right? Or if you are not doing that, then in every time you do any box, you have to lift your paper. So this is also a technique that we have to lift our paper according to the requirement. Okay, so today I will show you by lifting this paper. Um, so when I am starting, first of all, just see what is the lightness and the darkness of that color. So I'm going to apply here, and we'll see that this is the status of this pigment right now. It's this much light. If you want more water, you can add it, right? So I'm going to use this one with this bigger size brush because I'm going to work on this area. Okay. So I'll first apply watery pigment, and we are doing in flat surface. Okay. Same thing, bring it down with the help of water, but you have to be extra careful. Now this is your task, be inside boundaries and bring the water down nicely. If you are using professional grade paper, it will going to give you time. Your paper will not dry. But if you are using any cheap paper, so you will experience that your paper started drying, and maybe in flat surface you will see the blooms also if you will not going to do fast. Right. So this is a reason. And once I'm done, immediately tilt the sheet. Now what will happen, this water will come down here and you can see watercolor bead. Okay. Now another brush should be you rinse your brush, you dab it in your paper towel, you make it thirsty, right? And once you are sure that all the water is collected here, so you can either do one thing, you can tilt it again to bring at one point, and here you can lift. Again you remove the extra pigment from your brush, and then you again soak this water. So you should be completely sure that all the water is collected here now, and now I can again keep my paper this way. Okay, so I can see that there is no water. So now I am 100% sure and I can keep my paper this way again. Right? So same variation you can, with the same color you can add first of all at different places. Like I can switch my brush and I can use some smaller area. So let's say I want to paint this area. Now you have to take this decision where I'm going to tilt. Okay. Yes, yes. This is important because many time in paintings we do this mistake. We tilt in wrong side where paper started drying, and then it gives the trouble. So first I applied water, this watery pigment, and now you tilt it. Now you have to decide where you want to tilt. So what we are giving direction to this water where it should collect. So here you can see I can do this first. Okay, let all the water come down here this point, and once you think um, it is down, you can see the watercolor bead, and then you tilt at one side. Okay, and then I can use my another brush. You rinse it first and then you dab it in your paper towel. So this brush will be thirsty brush. And once you are sure that all the water is collected here and there is no water left, so then again you can put it. So can you see how we are getting the flawless washes here without any disturbance? And same way we are nicely able to collect, even the area is small, then also we are able to collect the water at one place and we are nicely lifting it. So no problem at all, no patches, no uneven colors you can see here, right? It is nicely coming down. So same way with the same color, with this color you can add at different places. Now once you are done with this color, what I will do the same mix. I will show you here. To the same mix I am going to add some more pigment. So this is the same pigment, blue pigment. Okay, and I am going to add little bit, not too much, just little bit. And again I'm going to nicely mix. So what will happen this time, my color variation will be a little bit more darker than this one. Okay, because I added some pigment. And then you check. So I can check here. If you think there is no much change, if you see here, I can see some variation but not that much, so I will add some more. It should not be too dark. Okay, and again I can add, give a nice mix, otherwise sometime pigment these are heavy granules, so it will not mix nicely. So you have to mix the pigment nicely. Now again check what is the variation of that color. So This is the color. Little bit darker, maybe it's not visible that much on camera. So what I'm going to do, I will add, okay, to show you more, it should look like we have done something. I can see, but I have to show you. So, but you have to go slow. Every time you add pinch by pinch. This time, this much. Yeah, can you see little bit it's, yeah. Now I am going to, if you are working on bigger surface, so you use bigger brush. If you are using on, if you are working on tiny area, so you use tiny brush. Okay, so we are learning how to work on smaller areas, we are learning how to work on bigger areas. So accordingly, we are going to switch the brushes. Right, I'll keep this side. If you are using smaller size brush in bigger areas, what is the problem? Problem is you are going to see a lot of patches because you will cover the small area, bigger area with smaller brushes, right? And you will multiple time you will go back and forth, you will keep doing this. So this way you will get lot of stains. So bigger size areas you cover with bigger brush, right? So here let's do this one, and I'm going to use my mop brush. Remove the excess water, so we don't, it should not drip. And now I'm going to start from here. Do it nicely. Now we are dragging this color, right, but on flat surface. So you have to you have to be fast. If you feel like you need more pigment, you use more pigment, but you should have enough water. Yeah, yes, okay. So unfortunate, this card is full. No worries, still it is recording. So I covered this area, and then immediately you tilt it. So first I'm going to tilt this way. Okay, it is running down. Once it is collected here, and then you tilt at one side and collect all the pigment. So let it come down. This process you have to do it fast. If you are not doing fast, so your paper will start drying. If you are using professional grade pigments or paper, so then this problem will not happen. It will give you some more time, right? But if you are using a cheap, any cheap paper, so this problem will be there. It will start soaking water fast, right? Now what I can do, I can just tilt one side, and let me use my another brush. Mop brushes are good for lifting extra water. So first of all, I rinse my brush and then dab it in my paper towel, and now it can soak quite fast compared to other brushes. Okay, so for lifting you can use mop brushes. Now, whenever you are working with this exercise, make sure you are not working on the adjacent areas. Adjacent means like you worked on this area and immediately you are working on this area. It will going to give you a problem because color will bleed from here to here, right? And it will mess up. So leave the spaces, and later once this is completely dry, now I can work on this area, but not immediately, right? So here we intention is that we have to bring the colors nicely down, and it should, water should collect at one place, so you have to learn where you need to tilt the sheet, okay, to collect the water. And another thing is you are practicing different values, different variations. Okay. um, yes. Now another time I'm going to use more pigment here to make it more dark, right? So I'll just take um, 1 minute or less than 1 minute. So yeah, till then you can practice this one if you want. Okay. Right. So now we are going to add more water. Sorry, more pigment to this color. Yes, it helps you. First of all, it helps you to get out of any kind of thoughts. It's kind of meditation. Another thing is it will help you to enhance your creativity, right? And it will help you to learn how you can create different kind of variations in color, single color, right? And I would suggest you that after doing this exercise you can practice preparing a one monochrome painting just with single color, right? And you will understand that how much effective this exercise is. So I'm adding more pigment this time. I will add more pigment and give a nice mix. Mixing is really important. And let me see how much difference is there. Okay, yes, so I can use this one. Let's do some tiny area. And I have this brush here. Again, same thing, I'm going to use this pigment, overload my brush with water and remove the excess pigment. Okay, and now I'm going to work on this area. You should have enough water. If water is enough, so you will get time to work on that area and it will not going to give you a problem even if it is cheap paper. So I nicely cover this area. Now I am going to tilt it. Let this water collect here. Okay, and have some patience at this time. So you can see here it is collecting, and then you keep your brush ready, mop brush. and then you can lift this water. Again, let it come down. This, and you can see, even if the area is small, then also we are getting good results. Right? Same way, now I'm going to do this side. So when I'm doing this side, let's say you have done this side of painting and you are working on this area. Now obviously you are not going to tilt this way downwards. You are going to tilt side. So again I will use same brush. Overload. Yes. Now this is adjacent area. I told you that don't try to use this area, but I just want to show you that, see, if I'm working on this side of painting, okay, and I don't want to mess this side because this area is still wet. Now I will keep some gap there, okay. I covered this side, and now I'm not going to mess up this area, so I will tilt this side. And collect the water from here. You can bring it to one corner. Now you know all the water is running this side, right? So then we can bring it to one point, and then you can. So what we are doing, we are also practicing how to handle this water. And you keep it this way for some time, and then you put it down. See? So without disturbing this area, we have worked on this part. Same way, this time I will show another side because I'm not getting that much variation. So every time you add pinch by pinch color so that you will have some variety. So here if I show you, this is a variation. This time is much darker. So I can work on this area, or yes, this area. So you should have a good amount of pigment, watery pigment, and then work. This way you will never get any kind of patch because you have enough water. Now don't try to jump I mean go layer by layer and keep adding pinch by pinch color, then only you will know the importance of this exercise. And then once it is collected, first of all you go this way because there is nothing bottom part, right? So we can, this side is safe, we can tilt this side. If something goes wrong, maybe this water run down towards downward, so then it will not going to affect the bottom part because there is nothing, I can easily manage, right? But if there is something and you have worked on that area and then you are doing this, it's a big mistake. Now you can see all the water is collected here. Now you can slightly, you know there is a painting part. So what you can do, now you have to take a decision. You want to tilt this way or you want to tilt this way. If I tilt this way, so still I'm safe. There is nothing. Right? So here you can see all the water is collected here, and then you nicely lift it. So it will not going to affect any of the areas. So with same variation of color, like with same value, you can add here, you can add here, add 2-3 places. Once you are done with that color in 2-3 places, then you add another uh, like another drop of color or some color again here. You mix it well and then you do few more boxes, then again you add more color, then again you do few more boxes. What will happen, you will get a variety, you will see a nice combination of different values. And once, let's say you filled up entire area, okay, let me do few more for you. Okay, I hope. Okay, okay. Now next, what you can do, with any color you can create these lines. So why to waste these areas, right? You can also use any area to define that part. Let me show you here. Now this surface is completely dry, right? And now I can go with my tiny brush and I can add these type of lines. So you are also practicing lines. So basically we are trying our best to work in different areas. Let's say you worked on this area, now you are working on tiny details. So how you are going to do, right? So this you will also learn how to bring control, how your grip should be, your hand movement should be. Okay. So this way you do the exercise, and then the another one which I want to show you, I need a separate sheet for that. So what I can do, I will cut down this paper. I hope you are getting idea what exercises, different exercises we are doing. And every exercise plays a very important role. Yes, yes. First you do this with different variety, okay? You click the picture nicely and then you can experiment on top of these. You can do any way, you can do lines. So practice lines on top of these. You can also practice one more thing. If any area you think like I want to make it more dark, so what you can do, again repeat the same process on top with color, right? So this is not completely dry yet, but what we can do, we can again go with same pigment, same kind of this pigment, and you can layer it again on top and you can tilt down, you lift the water this way. So you can create a variety. This will be darker than this one. So you can take these things. These two boxes are looking similar. Let me create something different. Okay, let me bring more variation. So you either you can work layer it more or you can layer it more. This you can do. I hope you are getting. If you want, I can show you. Right. Okay, where is my now next exercise is, I will cut this paper because I'm not able to cover in my screen. Now we have this watery pigment, and now what we are going to do with this one, uh, we are doing a pouring technique. Okay, in pouring technique what we do, first of all we wet down the area. So I need a bigger brush. So I have this brush here. First of all I'm going to apply water. Okay, so I'll show you this much area. Let's say I am only working in this area of painting. Now I need a bigger size brush because I'm working on bigger size area, right? So don't do this mistake, don't go with the smaller size brushes. Now I'm using this one and I'm going to nicely apply pigment. So there is no chance of getting stroke because I first of all wet down the area and now then I'm applying on top. And then excess water we have to lift it. You have to keep lifting the extra water. Okay. So once you are completely sure this side is done, then you can make it flat. But still you can see a lot of water is running down here. So again I have to keep lifting this thing. Then if you are using some darker pigment of same color, so you can change your brush this time because we don't want too much of water, or you can use it. So again I will start from here and you can see I'm working on wet. And center part, like few areas I want to create variety. I don't want anything in that area. So what we do, once that base is dry, you have to do this thing once the base is dry. Then you are doing again watery layer on top. So you glaze it with water and then again you do this, right? And then same thing, you tilt it. Now you decide where you want to tilt. You want to tilt this side or you want to tilt some other side. And immediately lift that water. This technique we use when we are making blurry backgrounds. Okay, so we have to wait. Like you should have that patience. Once you are doing one thing, let it dry completely. Then again you glaze it with water and then again you apply another layer on top. Okay. And some areas, if you don't want anything, what you can do, you simply apply water. Like I am applying water here first. Water should be nicely applied because it should be evenly spread on paper. Once the water is done, then I'm going to use this pigment. And where you don't want anything, you just apply water. Okay, let's say I don't want anything here. I will just rinse my brush and I will apply water, pure water. Okay, and then you again you tilt it. This technique works really well with Archie's paper because this paper is thin, it is not giving me that result. I have a complete video in this, I will share with you. Okay. So you can see here this is blurry, there is no sharp edge at all. Yes, so this kind of technique works when we are doing landscape, sky. Okay, so we do this. So there are different ways of using watercolor. Depends what you want. You want to do realism, you want to do flat washes, what exactly you want. Right, and once the paper is like this is started drying, at this point, now this is just 30% dry. Here I can see still it's quite watery this side, but this side it started drying, but still here is some possibility I can lift. So I can go with my brush and I can just do this way and I can lift, and it will create a nice fluffy cloud kind of effect. Keep rinsing, keep tapping. Mop brushes are good for lifting pigment. So many times we also use this technique. Sometimes we just use tissue paper to lift. So getting highlight, it's not only by securing the highlight. Sometimes you need to wait, let it dry, semi-dry, and then you lift it. Lifting can be done with the help of brush. Lifting can be done with the help of tissue papers, right? But this will work when you understand that what should be the wetness level of paper. Here you can see it's quite soft and smooth. Okay, so to create the distance kind of effect, something you want to show in the distance, quite far away, so it should be this much blurry. Okay, so do these exercise in bigger size paper, not the smaller sizes, and